Welcome to 100 Yards of Football. Today, we got our college football team preview as we're going to break down the Auburn Tigers. They have so many nicknames, War Eagle Tigers. The Auburn Tigers today here on 100 Yards of Football. If you like the video today, please come in and share it. The two gentlemen that's going to help me break down Auburn. The first gentleman played in the National Football League for 12 years. He was a first-round draft pick in the 1981 draft. My man, Bobby Butler, by way of Florida State University and selected by the Atlanta Falcons. The second gentleman is one of the most talented high school football coaches here in Clayton County and Atlanta metro area. He coached at Mount Zion, Dutchtown, Lovejoy, and Riverdale High School. My man, Kevin the Bull Jones. So if you like the video today, please come in and share it as we are 100 Yards of Football. So Coach Jones, how special is Auburn going to be this year in 2020?
Well, I tell you what. Coach Malzahn is one of those guys that I tell you, you talk about a gunslinger, and just when you think he's not going to have a good season, he has a great season. And then when you think he's going to have a great season, he's a play or two away from a great season. Auburn is just a perennial talented program in SEC West. Okay, but here's where they stand. They have 3 starters coming back on offense, and they have only 4 starters coming back on defense. So here is a feather in their cap. My common denominator, what's going to happen with who's gunslinging that football? The success that's going to happen in college football this fall with the pandemic that we dealt with, the COVID pandemic, nobody having a chance to have spring practice. It's going to be a true testament of what kind of offense can be generated. So here you have a returning quarterback who was a freshman last year, returning for Auburn Tigers, Bo Nix. Dad's a grandfather, legendary coach here in Georgia. Okay, so Bo Nix is back in the saddle. He's going to do a fantastic job. He was a couple of plays. He engineered a comeback against Oregon that gave him his stamp of approval as far as the War Eagle family. But now here's where we are now. They came 3 points shy of beating LSU last year. First time Bo Nix had to deal with the bright lights of the biggest game in his history as a collegiate football player. So now he's a veteran. And now he's in a position where he's got 2 receivers coming back. 2. He's got 2. He's got Anthony Schwartz and he's got Seth Williams coming back. Both of those guys, between them, 1,200 yards in reception yards, and they had 9 touchdowns, and then they almost 100 catches on the season. Okay, so he has 2 receivers. But as far as on the offensive line, here we go again, guys. Offensive line is going to be the Achilles heel as far as development. He's going to need time to throw the ball or run that sophisticated offense, pistol offense with all the motion that Auburn runs. And in fact, Bobby and Vince, that's kind of what saves them a lot of times because they don't run a traditional offense. So all of that misdirection and who's got the ball, that buys time, when your offensive line has to mature a little bit and get in the lather and flow of blocking downhill. So until those baby War Eagles grow up a little bit on that offensive line, you got something that can hold them. And you got 2 receivers coming back. On the defense side of the ball, at the end of the day, it's always been Auburn's trademark. They had guys go in the draft, 2 defensive linemen, Derek Brown and Matavius Davidson go first round in the draft, top 15 picks. So listen, those guys got to be replaced. But for right now, they still got Big Cat Bryant still coming back. He led the team in quarterback hurries last year. He'll be back. Incoming freshman that's coming in, Zakevius Walker from Skelly County here in Georgia. Optimistic kid that, already on campus. That's going to be there to work and help that defensive line out. Once again, my friend and my mentor, the guru, Rodney Garner, is always able to have first-round draft picks out of defensive linemen. He's able to mold these young men. They don't have to be 5 stars. They can be a 2-star. But if Rodney Garner, Coach Garner likes him, G, as he's affectionately known, if he likes him, he's going to recruit him. And more than likely, they're going to be going in the first 2 rounds of the draft. So with that being said, Dre Butler, the #1, Vincent, JUCO, junior college football player, strong side defensive end in the nation, signed with Auburn. So he's what you call a veteran player, because that JUCO route is pretty rough, because those grown men in there. So if you're the #1 strong side defensive end in the nation, that means you're coming to Auburn. You're not coming to sit on the sidelines.
Right.
And I love about this kid, a good friend of mine, he was coached by Terrence Banks down here at Newton County High School back in the day. This kid has went through those trenches, JUCO level, and now he's going to be able to prosper playing for Auburn this fall. KJ Britt, linebacker returning, 10 tackles for losses.
Good play.
SEC. That means a lot at the end of the day. When you SEC, you're first team All-American. Owen Papo is a big-time player that everybody talks about at Auburn, and his skill set level is real high. But Kevin Steele, running the defense for Auburn. Now, he got paid for being as successful as he's been as the defensive coordinator, $2.5 million a year to run the Auburn defense. Okay, so he's going to have them ready to play. And you got the gunslinger, and you got 2 receivers coming back. Bobby, I love your analogy. When it comes to the running backs, yes, they have some guys that played last year, DJ Williams, okay, but Tank Bigsby is coming in as an incoming freshman. But as you mentioned, Bobby, those are positions that it really depends on the offensive line, how successful they are. Here's the common crutch that's going to affect Auburn that I'm concerned about, okay? All starting defensive backs are gone, #1. And #2, they have the nation's 3rd toughest schedule. Guys, yeah, that looks good to say you didn't back down from anybody, but you only got 3 starters coming back on offense, and none of them are the offensive linemen. But Vincent, to go along with what you think about on that offensive line, I'm gonna pick it back a little bit with you. Broderick Ham played at Spalding County High School. Great friend of mine, like a brother to me. Nick Davis was his coach at Spalding County High School. Nick Davis, a legend down there in Griffith, Georgia. And this kid, Broderick Ham, had some tough situations to deal with in his personal life when he got there. And then he's persevered, and he should be starting this year. So for me, guys, Auburn's going to have a tough 7-5 season.
Brother Butler.
Well, I tell you, Coach, I like Auburn, right? I like them because they're always the ghost in the room, right? We talk about Alabama, we talk about Georgia, we talk about Florida, we talk about all the teams, but Auburn is always the one,
Yes.
that we don't count on, but they're always going to come through, right? So they play good, tough, hard-nosed football, all right? We talk about Bo Nix Jr., right? Bo Nix played as a freshman last year, went to Oregon, first game of the year, and drove him down the end of the game and won the game, right? So they just need Bo to step his game up, right? He's got a year under his belt now, so he's got to step his game up to the next level. He's no longer a field manager. Right. He's got to be a difference maker for them, right? We got to see him, especially with the offensive line being down, we got to see him make a living with his feet as well, right? He's got to be all he can be in this offense. Like you talk about running backs, dime a dozen, right? But 5-star recruit, Cordavius Bixby, he's going to be a big-time player there, right? Jatarvius Whitlow, expected transfer, but DJ Williams is their leading rusher from last year.
Correct.
Returning. They got guys. I'm not worried about that position. Here's the thing. The offensive line need help. But, the more I think about this, y'all, this is the SEC. They play physical football. They got big guys we haven't seen yet.
Right.
And like I said, I don't want to count the true freshmen coming in right now as like they've got to be the guys, right? That just give us a little extra flavor when they come in and can do something, right? But I'm quite sure they got some guys. They play physical football. But here's what I love. And I think this is going to happen. Bo Nix with his maturation, right? Their receivers room is special. Now, we don't see that by the numbers. The numbers are not lopsided. But let's talk about Seth Williams. He's going to be a first-round pick next year.
Yes.
He only had 59 catches for 830 yards and 8 TDs. He's a Michael Irvin.
Yes.
No question about it. Big physical guy, right? Now, Anthony Schwartz is the fastest college player in America.
That's right.
They didn't use him like they should have used him last year. Now, you talking about somebody taking the top off?
Right.
They're more interested in him running jet sweeps. Bruh, let's open the offense up. Let him clear everything out and then work Seth in that dig route.
Right.
Let's work that. And then you got Eli Stowe, the volume catcher. He's your tight end in the mix. He's a guy 8-9 yards, 5-6 yards. He's your check down guy, so to speak, right? So if they can use that combination in the right way, Auburn can have an exceptional year on offense. I'm telling y'all now. Because they do got the players. They just got to use them the right way.
Right.
And I'm telling you, I think Bo is going to come back much improved, ready to go.
Yes.
With having a year under his belt in the SEC, just like you said, the LSU game, the way he played, I think he's ready for the big time. From a defensive standpoint, you know, guys, Tyrone Truesdale, a big body guy on the inside. We talked about him. We talked about Marquise Burks, JUCO transfer, and Dre Butler.
Right.
Hey, they're gonna make noise in the D-line like they always have in the past.
Right.
Then you got Big Cat Bryant. You know what? When guys got nicknames like that, coach, they ain't no slouch.
They ain't no slouch.
They call this dude Big Cat. I don't even know his real name. But we know Big Cat. They got players. And you got Caleb Johnson. They're going to hold it down, right? And then KJ Britt, ain't nothing else to say.
That's right.
He's a star at defense. He's a play caller at defense. He's all SEC. He's all world. You know? Hey, let me tell you something about Auburn. Auburn has always had great linebackers.
Always.
When I played in college, you know, that was 100 years ago, right? They had a guy named Fast Freddy. I know, Vince, I know you remember that name. Fast Freddy.
Yes.
You know, but they've got a tradition of now, when we talk about the secondary, they got to replace 4 starters, right?
Woo.
That's the challenge.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you like this. If I ask any one of y'all, and Vincent know because Vincent he's just old study guy like this. None of y'all can name nobody in the secondary when Lawrence Taylor played with the Giants. Name one.
Mark Collins.
Who?
Mark Collins.
Mark Collins.
Elvis Patterson.
I know that. The only reason I know that answer because I was at the University of Arkansas at the time, and his cousin was attending Arkansas.
Right.
Mark Collins is from Pasadena, California.
Right.
By way of Wyoming.
My point is this: if your front seven is strong,
right?
Okay, we don't have to worry about the secondary.
Right.
If we're gonna put heat in the kitchen, hey, listen, I believe Auburn is gonna get it done. You know, they got some guys, you know, that's coming in secondary. Roger McCrary, he'll be their number 1 corner this year. Jamion Shawad, you know, he's one of the biggest. He's gonna have a bigger role, and you know, he's gonna make tackles, right? So I really believe that the success in Auburn is going to depend on the maturation of Bo Nix. And so, but I got them going 8-4 at their worst, and I got them possibly going 9-3, coach.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I possibly got them going 9-3.
Gentlemen, the information y'all brought up is very excellent. I'm going to say this. When I think about Auburn University, I think about Gus Malzahn, and every year coming into the season, he's on the hot seat. Somebody down there not liking him. He's underachieving. But you know what? I think he's got Auburn to a level that I never expected based on the fact Tommy Tuberville won a lot. But Alabama wasn't where they at when Tuberville won. But think about this. Gus Malzahn has won a national championship as an offensive coordinator. Right. Then as a head coach, he's got to a national championship game when that other team excuse me, Coach Jones, let me see, that royalty team down in Tuscaloosa has been winning at a high level. I love the man. He's from Hughes, Arkansas. And I hope the Auburn faithful stay with him because I think he's a hell of a football coach. Mm-hmm. And look at the talent he keeps bringing in.
Yes.
I think it was very obvious last year, gentlemen. He took a chance to start a true freshman quarterback.
He did.
A true freshman.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you're going to have growing pains.
Absolutely.
Anybody can see that. Both of you gentlemen are coached and played at a high level. Think about it. Bo Nix, in the games he played poorly, which is Florida, Georgia, and LSU, they lost. The games he played well, Alabama, Texas A&M, they won when he didn't have to do a lot. My thing with Auburn is very simple to me. Can Bo Nix take that next step?
Right.
Is he the guy that's going to mature? Like you say, Brother Butler, he's got playmakers on the outside.
Right.
He's got Seth Williams, who's an NFL guy. Anthony Schwartz, who's going to be an NFL guy. Eli Stove is going to be an NFL guy. The offensive line, true enough, they lost 4 starters, but they got one of the top transfer linemen in the country, Brandon Council, who played 3 years at Akron. They played at every position. Then defensively, Auburn is always going to keep a good defense because they got, I consider, the best line coach in the country. Your man, I'm totally agree with you, Coach Jones, Brother G, Rodney Gardner. Look at his track record. Everywhere it's been at, Georgia, Tennessee, I think the teams have did pretty well. And I think this year, Big Cat, we don't know your name yet, brother. Big Cat Brian, you're getting a lot of love here in 100 Yards Football. We're looking you to be special.
Right.
But the guy I think is going to have a breakout year for him, if you want to talk defensively that I'm looking at, they've had some great safeties. I'm surprised both of y'all from the local Atlanta area. Why y'all didn't bring up Smokey Monday? That guy's a tremendous football player. So Auburn is going to be real well on both sides of the ball. I think they got an outstanding coaching staff. Cadillac Williams is the running backs coach. Rodney Gardner, the line coach. He just brought his best friend over to run the offense, and Chad Morris. Even though Chad Morris had a hard time at Arkansas, he's still a good offensive coach.
Yeah.
So I'm considering Auburn is going to be very dangerous. And they're a team that can go easily 9-3 and 10-2. But my man Gus Malzahn, I loved him. I like him. Out of Hughes, Arkansas. Look what he did with his assistant at the University of Arkansas, who he produced. Dave McFadden and Felix Jones. When Arkansas didn't have nothing under the center. And look what he did when he got to Auburn, took that young man from Westlake. They won a national championship. So when I think about Auburn, I think about Gus Malzahn, it's very simple. He's an excellent football coach. And just like the great Steve Miller says, fly like an eagle. What you mean? Gus Malzahn from Hughes, Arkansas. Fly like an eagle. Steve Miller, War Eagle.
Boy,
Any final words? Any final words?
Final word. Let me say this, and I want all the viewers to hear this. The team that comes out of the SEC West to play in the SEC championship game is going to have one loss in the West. That's how competitive this is going to be. It's going to be a dogfight. When you talk about Auburn and Alabama playing, and I'm saying it's going to be tough. Even my favorite team is going to take. There's going to be one loss somewhere because
Alabama's going to take a loss.
It's going to be. Okay. Listen to me. I'm going to say it again. The team that wins that plays in the SEC championship game on the West and the East, in their record, they will have a loss. No one's going in undefeated. It's not going to happen. Not in the SEC. Not with COVID, not with the pandemic, not with anybody being able to practice in the spring, and everybody got a dog fighting in the fall. That's what I'm saying. It's going to be, if there's going to be some level playing fields with 2 new head coaches in Ole Miss and Mississippi State, and the banana peel is going to hit somebody, is what I'm saying. And when that banana peel hits, it can hit, doesn't matter who you're playing. And I truly believe, I still believe that Auburn is going to finish up 7-5 because when it's all said and done, they're going to run that gamut of those tough games, that gauntlet. And that gauntlet is real. But Alabama is going to slip up on Auburn is going to slip up on somebody and hurt their feelings. I'm just going to tell you that. You heard it right here on 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk.
Brother Butler, your final words on War Eagle.
I tell you, let me say this. They have the only chance of beating the Alabama squad. I said the only chance. Alabama will be.
What do you mean by only chance, Brother Butler?
Alabama will be undefeated.
Fans want to clarify that.
Alabama. I'm a Bama fan now. Y'all got Coach Jones. All this out of hey, I'm in. Alabama will not be beat going into the SEC championship game. But if they do, I believe the only loss could come from Auburn, to be honest with you.
Backyard brawl.
Yeah, backyard brawl.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, if you like the video today, please come in and share. War Eagle. Gus Malzahn, fly like an eagle. If you see, fly like an eagle. War Eagle. If you like the video today, please come in and share. Thank you and God bless. Have a wonderful weekend.
Hey,